All right, let's take a look at the next lesson on surface area. This is on pyramids. Pyramids meaning they're going to come to a point up top here, like in this shape here. That's opposed as a prism. A prism, whatever the base of the shape is, that would go throughout the whole shape, so it would have the same triangle on the top. Okay, a pyramid always goes to a point. All right, and the way I would like you to find the surface area of pyramids is to not use these formulas. You'll see in each one of these questions, I have put a formula for you. I don't think that's helpful because then you have to think to yourself, well, I need to know what kind of shape it is. I think instead, anytime you're finding surface area, I want you to visualize what are the surfaces. So think of the surface area of this shape here. It's called a tetrahedron. You don't really need to know that, but it basically means all four sides are triangles. They're also regular, meaning they're all the same. The easiest way to find the surface area then would be to say, let's find four triangles. So that's 4 times 1/2 times base times height. All I need to know is what is the base and the height. So I'm going to go 4 times 1/2. And I can see the base of these triangles is 2.5. All right, what I don't know is the height. If you picture this height, the height is from this point all the way to this side here. Okay, so I want you to take a look at this first triangle here. Let's draw it up here. I know this is 2.5 and I'm trying to find this height. Okay, what I need for that is I need to know what this length is. But since it's a regular tetrahedron, I know this is also 2.5. And so what I can do now is I can look at this triangle right here, and I can calculate that height. I know this is 2.5, and I know this is 1/2. All right, and using Pythagoras, I'm going to quickly use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So height squared plus 1.25 squared is 2.5 squared. And so I end up with, and you should try to keep the entire number in here, but I end up with 2.165. I mean, the decimals keep going, but 3 decimals will be enough for our purposes. Okay, and if I multiply that, let's quickly do that. I get 2.5 times 2.165 times 2. I get 10.8, and then we can round it off to 10.8. I don't know what the unit is, so I'm going to write units squared. Okay, so there's your first look at a pyramid. I want you to look at this next one. This one is slightly different. This is called a square pyramid, meaning the base of the pyramid is a square. Okay, again, I don't need you to worry about what kind of shape this is. Instead, let's just use the different faces of this pyramid. So if I'm going to find the surface area, first thing I'm going to do is find the base. And you can see the base is 10 times 10. Okay, because it's length times width. All right, now since it's a square pyramid, each one of these triangles will be the same. Okay, let's take a look at one of those triangles. I can see that the base is 10, and I need to know what the slant height is, not what this height is. Okay, I need to know what the slant height is, and in this case, it actually tells us it's 12. Okay, the difference between the height is perpendicular to the bottom. The slant height is along the outside of the shape, so that it would be along the side of the triangle. Okay, so there are 4 of those triangles. So I'm going to go 4 times 1/2 times base times the slant height, which is 12. And this will give me 340 centimeters squared. Okay, that's actually a pretty straightforward one because I didn't have to calculate any missing parts. Kind of nice when they're like that. All right, this one is similar. Why don't you pause the video for a second and give this a try? Okay, come back when you're done. Okay, so now that you've tried it, you're going to find the area of the square plus 4 triangles. Okay, the area of the square says 6 times 6. And then there are 4 triangles. So 4 times a half times the base. Well, the base is 6, and it says the slant height is 14. Okay, so if I add that up, I end up with 204 centimeters squared. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. This next one is more difficult. All right, now again, don't get worried about, oh no, it's a rectangular pyramid. I don't care. Let's take a look at the shape and figure out how many sides there are. Okay, again, I never have used a formula. I mean, if you feel comfortable and that's how you've always done it, it's okay. That'll work. But I'm going to show you how I do them. If I want the surface area of this shape, I see there is a rectangle. Okay, that's the base. The rectangle is 8 times 6. All right. And then there are 2 different types of triangles. Let's look at this triangle first. Okay, and this is a tricky question. There are 2 of these. Okay, 2 triangles, and then there are 2 other triangles. Okay, but let's look at this blue one first. Okay, well, what do we know about this triangle? Well, I know the base, so I'm going to go 2 times half times the base is 8. What I don't know is the slant height. I don't know from this point down to the edge of this triangle. I don't know that. Okay, so let's draw this triangle here and try to figure out what that slant height is. To do that, I actually need this triangle right here. Okay, I'm going to draw that like this. Okay, I can see that it's 12 high. That's this right here. Okay, this base is half of 6. Okay, and that will give me this slant height. So what I'm going to do is use Pythagoras. 3 squared plus 12 squared is slant height squared. So 9 plus 144 is slant height squared. And that will give me, so this S turns out to be 12.369. That's what I'm going to use right here. 12.369. Okay. Now that might have been a bit confusing to you. Let's take a look at this second triangle. Okay, again, there will be 2 of those. That's what we're going to find here. All right, how do we find that? Well, again, we need to figure out what this slant height is here. Okay, and to do that, I'm going to draw this triangle. Okay, so if I do that, I know this is 12. This will be 4 because it's half of 8. It's from here to here. And then that gives me a new slant height. Again, I'm going to use Pythagoras. And so I'm going to have 2 times 1/2 times the base, which is 6. And if I use Pythagoras, I end up with 12.649, I think it is. Can't read my own writing. Okay, so let's add this up. 48 plus 98.952 plus 75.89 gives me a total of 222.8 feet squared. Okay, now if you're worried a little bit about the decimals, I would say keep as many decimals as you can. I'm only writing a few out each time, but I'm trying to keep them all on my calculator when I do the question. Okay? So, there is one more to do here. Uh-oh, what have I done? Okay, last one for this lesson. This one is exactly like the last one. To calculate the surface area, you're going to find the area of the rectangle. Then you're going to find two triangles and then add up the other two triangles. Okay, one of the triangles looks like this, and it's in the front and the back. Okay, and the other two triangles are on the two sides, there and there. So take a minute, pause the video, and give this a try. Okay, coming back to the question. The rectangle is easy, 8 times 5. All right, we got to look at this front triangle now. This front triangle is 2 times 1/2. The base is 8, but I don't know what the slant height is. Okay, I'm going to have to find that. All right, how do I find that? Well, it's this slant height I'm trying to find. Let's connect it to this triangle right here. Okay, and I'm going to draw it right here. It says the height is 9. I don't know what this slant height is, but this distance is half of 5. Okay, so I'm going to put 2.5 here. All right, you should be able to do Pythagoras fairly easy on this. The slant height turns out to be 9.34. So that's what I'm going to put in here, 9.34. Okay. Now let's find this other triangle. Okay, so now we're going to find this triangle. Again, to find the slant height, I'm going to use this triangle. Okay, and I'll draw that right here. I can see that the height is 9, and this base is half of 8. So it's 4. So this slant height turns out to be 9.849. And that's what I will put in my second triangle. So 2 times 1/2 times 5 times 9.849. Okay, and if I add that all up, I think I get 40 plus 74.7. I'm already going to round off here a little bit. Okay, and you end up with 163.9 meters squared. All right, that's probably the hardest lesson of this unit. Okay, so if you can figure that out, my advice again is look at the different faces, try to draw, even if you have to draw out, like in this shape, you would draw out a rectangle and a bunch of triangles, and you would find the area of each one. I think that's the best way to do this. Okay? Assignment 7, give that a shot. Good luck.